today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the Diamond Select Toys Marvel Select Zombie Magneto, the Special Collector's Edition action figure. This figure just showed up in local comic book stores and definitely wanted to pick it up as I'm a huge fan of zombies, huge fan of Magneto, so the two really go hand in hand. We spin around the side of the box and there is the artwork, very memorable artwork from Marvel Zombies. And we spin around to the back of the package. Other figures available, there's the Captain America, the Winter Soldier Captain America, and Amazing Spider-Man 2 Spider-Man. The read-up says a virulent plague has run rampant around the globe. The infected, although fully self-aware and retaining of all their memories, are now soulless. Hungry cannibals who desire only to consume the uninfected. Unable to be killed unless their brain is destroyed, these zombies are now the top of the world's food chain. But there is something higher. Zombie supervillain. Unable to avoid infection forever, some of the world's most dangerous superpowered criminals have been turned into bloodthirsty cannibals, and Eric Lenser, the mutant known as Magneto, was one of the last to fall. With the power to control any metal, Magneto now hunts the world's remaining uninfected humans to feed his never-ending hunger. This fully articulated 7-inch figure was sculpted by Phil Ramirez. To check out more, you can go to www.diamondselecttoys.com. And without further ado, Spot's going to take a break. Going to get this opened up. And when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the Zombie Magneto Special Collector's Edition action figure. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Just quickly having a look at the display stand that comes included with Magneto, you get yourself a cityscape kind of pavement scene. A little manhole cover going on there as well. You may not be able to overlook, though, the lone arm, the lone hand of Green Goblin. A last stand, perhaps, the Green Goblin's hand clenching on to the pumpkin bomb. A very grotesque and fun display stand. It doesn't look like, though, it does have any peg points, so when you're standing Magneto on it, you're essentially just going to be standing him on top of the display stand like that. Just put that to the side. Magneto is a gorgeous sight. Now, I say gorgeous because it's a good-looking figure. It's clearly not a gorgeous figure. Instead, it's a very grotesque, again, looking piece. The face, if we can call it his face, what's left of it at least, is a mangled, broken skull. One lone eyeball, very creepy. And the helmet, luckily, is removable. And you can put the helmet to the side, but even really the helmet on its own is a fantastic sight. It's got these scraped away kind of, it looks as if the paint on the metal would have been scraped away, and you can see the under metal underneath, and that's a nice touch. Put that to the side. His face, yes, it's very gruesome. Some teeth showing and that one lone eye, very scary looking face on Magneto. To say nothing for the rest of his body, because, I mean, the rest of his body is very disheveled also. Ripped away areas of flesh on his biceps. He's got some gashes and areas been gnawed away at his body, in his torso section, and his arms. Probably the more glaring observations are the ripped away stomach cavity, which, funny enough, still houses his belt. Zombies are very careful. They try to eat around articles of clothing like belts. But you can see his spinal cord in there going on. He's got the exposed skeletal leg, which is a nice touch. And again, some more rips and gashes in his thighs. Spin around the back of the figure, and that's, again, where you really start to appreciate the care that Diamond Select would have put into this. Some gashes in the sides of his thigh, the back of his calf areas. And if I can flip the cape up well enough, you can see how he's been ripped away at the back there is also. The cape has not survived either. In fact, I guess the only thing that really survived on him was his helmet, but his cape has been shredded. You can see where somebody would have penetrated through the cape and eaten away at the back of Magneto. Grotesque. The cape is a harder rubber. It's not as pliable. It still has the pliability, but it's not as pliable as some of the other capes we've seen with Marvel Select pieces. The sculpt on his hands are nice too, because he has that still using his power summing of metal material. He's got that in his fingers, which is a nice touch. He does have a lot of articulation, and he doesn't have a lot of articulation. For the sake of sparing the sculpt, I can see why they shaved some things off. Like, he doesn't have a swivel in the thigh section, but he does have a swivel point and hinge in his feet. Let's just actually, you know what, we'll put the helmet on. Actually, we'll leave it off for a second. Articulation, Magneto, zombie Magneto, has a hinge, just a ball joint in his head, so it allows the head to rotate back and forth. Not really up and down, just back and forth. Now we'll put the helmet back on. There we go. We'll have it a little, yeah, perfect. He does have ball hinge joints on the shoulders. Doesn't have that swivel point like we were discussing before, but he does have a hinge in the elbow. And a lot of this can be contributed to the fact that, again, he's as mangled as he is. I wouldn't want that broken up by a swivel. I'm fine to leave it as is, because he does enough posability on his own that I don't want to forfeit design over practical purpose. If you start adding articulation at the sacrifice of sculpt, I think that's the wrong way to go. But he does have also the swivel in the hand section there. No swiveled waist, again, because of the way he's sculpted. And you can move the legs. Now, you can't move the legs forward and back per se, but you can swivel them left and right, giving him, a pretty good stance. He does have a hinge, a double hinge in the knee, which is a very, wow, that's a clever bit of articulation, considering he is just a skeletal knee area here. Very clever. And he also has that hinge in the foot. Magneto is awesome. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but if you grew up, I say grow up, but I mean, it's been a couple of years now since we've had the Marvel Zombies. If you're a fan of Marvel Zombies, you're definitely going to want to add this guy to your collection. This is also available at your local comic book stores, and as Spot always says in his videos, support your local comic book stores. Keep them going, because every once in a while you want to go to a comic book store. You want to know that they're still there. Support them, and you can find a lot of gems like this guy there. Today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the Marvel Legends, Marvel Select, I should say, Marvel Zombies, Magneto. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more Toy Spots heading your way. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.